Oof, I think I just practice and speak with people. I remember when I was 20 years old, something like that. I started hanging out with American people and I couldn't understand almost anything. So it was very frustrating. But listening and listening and spending time with them and just trying, because that's also the thing. I think that we know, but is we are afraid of speaking and making mistakes. So I think yes, yes, Spanish people or people that doesn't speak the language. I think that we are very scared of failing and making mistakes. But at the end, it's about just trying and trying to express yourself the best way you can, and yes, just trying to get used to the language.
Silly Conversations, the podcast. Your host, Denzel Mills. We're recording now, my friend.
Yes.
Podcasting people. A few podcasts ago, I interviewed a musician called Mike. And so I've decided to continue the interviewing of musicians.
Oh,
And somebody I've taken quite a lot of photos of.
amazing photos. Okay.
I think she's somebody who really has a lot of talent and somebody who can really, really manage the crowd, manage the group of people and get people really energized. And she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. And then at the end of the podcast, we're going to sing a duet.
Ooh, that's great.
No, we're not really, because I have no idea how to sing.
I love it. Yes,
So,
let's go.
and, well, first of all, I'll let her introduce herself. This is Shamira. So introduce yourself first.
Hello. Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Shamira. I'm a singer, entrepreneur, artist, I would say, from Valencia. And yes, I think that I'm trying to experience as much as I can as an artist, every different possibility, and also to grow and to become the best version of myself as an artist, as a person, as a business person. So, yes, I'm here.
So this is the main thing, people. If you've never seen Shamira before, you're missing something. But I think even though this podcast has about 7 listeners, okay, I think this is going to be the start with the launch of everything great for her. Now, just before this, because you don't know, listening people, we arranged to do this. Was it last Saturday? The week
Yes,
before?
yes, it was.
Okay. So the funny thing is, she sent me a WhatsApp message like at 7 o'clock in the morning saying, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to do this." Smiley face, smiley face. Then when we were supposed to connect, it was like, "Oh, my computer's not working." And now, and this was in the morning, and now several days later, we're connected. And I said, "Oh," because it's a Friday evening. And I said, "Oh, Shamira, we can do a date night, have a glass of wine, and we can
Yes.
do a date night recording for the podcast." The woman has a glass of wine.
I do. I got ready. Actually, it's sangria. Sangria.
Okay, so she's drinking sangria. Now,
It
I
was
did have a little bit earlier, but
okay.
obviously being a professional, as a professional host. So, first of all, Shamira, welcome to the podcast, Silly
Thank you.
Conversations. Now, we kind of know each other just through your music. I've taken photos of you in many events.
Yes.
Okay, not many, but in some events. And I just think you really do a good job, especially with the crowd. Tell us a little bit about how you started on the musical side of things.
Wow, it's actually very interesting that you're telling me that I am very good with the crowd because that was my first challenge when I started as an artist.
Right?
I was so scared of the crowd. I was when I started. I remember my first concert. I was crying because I really was like I felt pressure inside of myself because I felt like it was a lot of people around observing, and I was not very comfortable with it. So it's super cool to hear that I'm managing good because that was my biggest challenge ever.
So when was your first concert,
My
if you can
first
remember?
yes, my first concert was when I was 15 years old. I
Hmm.
went to a pub and I asked the owner, "Can I make a concert here? I want to be a singer." And he said, "Okay, sure. Go to the stage and sing, and from there we can organize it." And
But what was the
that was
inspiration to start singing, getting into music or singing? What drew you into it?
ooh. So when I was young, this woman came to my school
Hmm.
and she made a little test to everyone, to all the kids, to sing and to join their choir. She actually selected one of the girls from my class and me because she said that we had something in the voice, and so that was my first contact with the music. But after some years, I think that I connected with the music because my teacher told me that I had a gift with my ear, and for me to hear that was like, okay, I'm very good at something, and I didn't hear that a lot before in my past. So for me, it really make a difference and really motivated me because yeah, it was something new, and I felt like I was good at something.
So when you said you were very good at hearing, the listening side of things, did you start to learn music and the sound and the intonation from just listening, or did you learn to write music?
From that moment, I actually didn't learn how to. I didn't really focus on any of those things. It just
Hmm.
happened naturally that I was singing in my free time with my friends, and we were just performing in the breaks in the school. And it's after when I decided to join another choir and to take it more serious. I didn't really thought about getting serious with it till I was 15, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the moment that I.
And then what was the kind of influencing factor? Which kind of music, I suppose, influenced you or pushed you to kind of say, okay, I want to try and do this solo, or I want to try and step out of the choir and do my own thing?
The influence of the music was when I was younger than 15 because my brother used to download the music from internet and sell it
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
That illegal thing. Yeah. So he had all the.
Everybody was pirating. Everybody was pirating everything. I used to pirate
Oh, perfect.
Windows 98 or something like that.
So you understand very good. So the thing is that my brother had all this music in his laptop, and he loved R&B, soul music, hip hop. So I download some or stole some of his albums, and I used to listen to them in my room.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I just felt like I could sing like that, and I really connected with that type of music. So I think that that's what took me in this path of singing R&B, soul
And
music.
was there any particular artist, or was it just the music in general that you liked, or was there some artist that at that time you kind of thought, oh, I like this woman, or I like this guy?
Yeah, one of the artists that I was super, super in love with was Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know, like her music was super, super amazing, and also her voice. And yeah, I really connected with her. Also Beyonce, Keisha Cole.
You know,
You
Beyonce.
know.
This the thing about Beyonce. I have to admit, and I'm going to say this out publicly. I've said it in private, but I don't get Beyonce. Alicia Keys,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Why? Why is it that you don't get her? Tell
I don't
us.
know. I mean, even when she was in Destiny's Child, I really didn't get. You know, when everybody's going on about Destiny's Child,
Mhm.
and I just a bit like the other one, Rihanna.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. It doesn't do anything for me. Rihanna,
Okay.
unless she's listening, Rihanna, I'm very sorry, but
Hmm.
I'm being honest. And of course, what's the other one? I said
Beyonce, Rihanna.
Beyonce,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
If
The
you
other
are
one.
listening, don't take it personal, but you just don't do it anything. You didn't, and you don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. I have a question for you. Do you like to dance? Like, do you like dancing?
In the old days when my hips could move, when my hips could move like Elvis, I'm telling you, I was like a dancing king.
Okay. Maybe I think that's maybe the reason because when well, if you hear to Rihanna's music or Beyonce, it's just like I think it makes you dance. So I think people that dances really, really love this artist because they are artists that you can, like
I don't
dance
know. I
with.
mean, I don't want to, I don't want to have a hard time with Rihanna or Beyonce, but they just don't. Even with alcohol in my system, they just
Even
don't
with your
do it.
hips moving.
Alicia
Yeah.
Keys, yes, and some of the new people that I'm listening to at the moment, like some of the rap, Little Sims. She's very cool. She's a UK rap artist, and Cleo Soul, which is another person. So that's where you kind of started in terms of your interest, that shift in terms of like starting to do things for yourself. But then how was it with singing in English? Because I asked Mike this question because he likes a lot of jazz bossa nova.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's obviously speaks a little bit of Portuguese and French and Spanish. And, I've seen him sing. He does like a tribute to Gilberto Gil, the whole bossa nova kind of thing. But then for you, from Spanish to getting that intonation, because she does get the intonation when she speaks when she sings in English. Is it that just your ear, or is it a lot of practice, or is it just a lot of wine that she's drinking at the moment?
No, actually, it's interesting because I think that I don't know. I got the accent talking to people from other countries, like Americans or people from the UK, and listening to it. Also, the music. I think that I hear 95% of the music is from like in English, so
Hmm.
that also probably affects. But yes, I also think I have an accent. Of course, I do have an accent.
But your English accent is more, it's more leaning towards like an American
Oh yeah, yeah,
accent. Yeah.
exactly.
And that's what I'm saying about when you do sing
Mm-hmm.
in English and typical soul songs, you've got that, for me, that intonation in the sound. So sometimes you have a lot of Spanish singers. Sorry, today I'm not doing very well. You've got a lot of Spanish singers who sing in English,
Yes, yes, yes.
and yes, they still have their accent,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
they sing the songs well. And maybe the slight difference for me and people who have seen you and I've spoken to them and we talk about the concert, and they kind of all say, you have a nice intonation in your voice when you're actually singing these kind of R&B songs, okay, or soul songs. So that's
Yeah.
quite cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's good. I think also it's about maybe listening in the I think about talking when you hear a lot of people speaking English. Also, I think when I was young, I remember I used to hear like people talking on YouTube, and I remember I used to repeat after them
Right.
their slang because I really like the slang.
Mm.
So I was repeating what they were saying. Yeah.
So the kind of repetition. So, for example, because I remember once, this was a couple of years ago, I think, when you were singing at one of these restaurants, and I was saying, I think somebody like, or some songs, because obviously you need to choose a repertoire.
Hmm.
You
I
see,
like
I know a little bit of
repertoire.
French. I
I
know. I mean,
love
I'm
it.
telling you, I'm just like a genius today. I should do more Evelyn podcasts with
I
wine.
love it.
I'm like a
Yeah.
genius.
Do you know French? Do you know French as well?
Oui, that's
Oh,
about it.
really?
My French is garçon, café, et croissant,
Oh,
and
amazing.
repertoire now.
Repertoire. I don't even know how to say that. It sounds very good.
And I remember said to you, oh, you should listen to some people like Nina Simone, because I think
Yeah.
there's some things that you could use in when you do these kind of sets in restaurants and things like that. So how do you learn a song?
All right. Well, me personally, I am a crazy person, so I don't really, I don't really put the time that I should. And For me, it's just about listening to it over and over and over. Maybe I listen to to the song, like I read the song couple times, but I think it's about repeating over and over. But also depends on the song, because if it's a song that requires a lot of vocal technique,
Hmm.
like for example, it has a lot of runs, or there's a powerful part that you have to change the registers. I think it's important that you practice those part per part, the different dynamics. Also, your body remembers, because I think it's like playing the guitar. At the end, you don't think about the notes that you're playing. It's just your body just plays it because
The
it
feel,
remembers.
the feel of it, yeah,
Yeah, it just remembers everything. So I think with the voice is the same. Is if you at the beginning practice exactly, yeah, it's like a feeling. What you say is a feeling. If you practice those hard parts, at the end your body is going to remember, and you don't even have to think about it. It just happens.
yeah.
But yes, it requires practice.
And then when you, because you write your own songs as well.
Mm.
Um, I don't know which is easier. Do you write in Spanish or do you write in
In English.
with an idea for a Spanish type song, or do
Okay.
you write in English for the idea of like a soul R&B type song?
Well, I would love to be able to really like write in English, like and express deeper, because I feel that when I, for example, sometimes I improvise in English, and
Right.
and it's cool, but I cannot really go deep. I maybe I start saying things like, if I'm in a restaurant, welcome to the name of the restaurant. We are here singing and feeling good, and things like that. But in terms of expression, I think it's easier to express in my own language.
Yeah.
But also the feeling is different, because in Spanish the vocals are bigger, so it's not gonna sound, if I want to make soul music and R&B, it sounds very different, and I feel like it's different.
Is this? Remember, I said about sometimes when there are Spanish singers or non-native English singers, and they're singing soul, the kind of classics and things like that, and there's like a sound to them. Is it because they're not? They're kind of singing in the same, I don't know, range or sound as if they would in Spanish.
Uh so I think, I'm sure there's like a certain part that makes it sound like it sounds. Like for example, is a thing called twang that is very popular in the gospel music,
Yeah,
soul, R&B. So it's a placement for the voice, but also that happens when you say, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when there's a lot of vocals, it's harder to do it. So
yeah,
that's why in certain languages, it can sound different, not really
yeah.
connected to the style. But it's possible, of course, if you find a way. I think it's possible.
I think the best way somebody described this to me is that because a lot of, I mean, a lot of the musicians here in Valencia, they work with different bands. And I remember somebody was telling me that specifically drummers are very difficult to find drummers who can actually play soul R&B music because they kind of play just a little bit too hard because they're quite used to playing rock music. And so it's a bit more, maybe a bit more harder, the hits, or it's a bit more aggressive, the hits, whereas when you're talking about soul and jazz, it needs to be a little bit more subtle. And I
Yeah.
suppose this is this idea you're talking about, the twang or
Yeah.
the tone of voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think in Spain, it's not very common to hear like soul and R&B singers and music. It's more like pop music, rock music. I think in the last years, that was the type of music that everyone was listening to. But
Hmm.
now there's some artists that they are starting to make soul, R&B in Spanish. So I think it's very good. It sounds
Nice.
also super cool, but also it's not a popular genre in Spain.
And this is a good shift because this is what you do,
Mm.
from what I understand. And you said I think you have not a record label. What's the word? A
Production
production
company.
company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have a production company.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you perform, you've got this production company. Is it possible at this moment to make a living from what you're doing, or do you have to supplement it with another job, or can you just survive in sometimes? A bit like I teach English classes, and you have good months or good years and then bad years. But
Yes.
the next level, I would imagine, as an artist with the style of music that you do, is it possible to make a living?
I think so. And because a lot of artists, they ask me the same thing because at the end, everyone wants to live from their art. But I think it takes time to live from it. It's not going to happen from day one, but it's going to be okay. So for example, in my own experience, I started working first in a lot of different jobs that didn't have anything to do with the art or music or singing, and I was getting money to pay my music and to grow
Right.
my social media. Once that happened, opportunities were appearing, and so I got my first singing job. But also, I was working at the same time, so I was balancing both. And now, for example, I'm only working with events and my music, and I think this happened when after so many years working on my music, grow my social media so people can see me and offer me new opportunities. So it takes time, but it is possible. The
Yeah,
only
but
thing
but I suppose it was very difficult, and there was times
yeah,
when
definitely.
I suppose simple things, obviously there's paying the bills, the
Yeah,
rent or mortgage and things like that. But
yeah.
then when you think about those little things like you haven't had a holiday or a break for a long time just because that money is dedicated to pay the bills.
It is.
There's a certain amount of gratification in terms of being in front of a crowd or group of people, but in terms of earning enough money to do those little extra things, I suppose it's very difficult, right?
Yes, it is very, very difficult, but I think that if a person really wants to be an artist and really like make a living from it, you have to have this mindset that it will take time, and
Yeah.
also you have to do things. You have to be willing to do stuff that you don't like that much
Mm.
to support what you love, and with time, that what you love is going to be bigger and it's going to give you everything that you need to support your life.
So my friend, tell me what
Yes.
events, what kind of events, not what events, what kind of events do you like the least? No. What kind of events do you dislike doing? You have to do them, but you
Oh yeah.
dislike doing.
Okay. So
I'm gonna say, let me guess. I'm gonna say probably weddings,
oh, okay. Okay.
weddings and I don't know, corporate events. I'm just gonna say weddings. Probably weddings.
No. So okay. For the moment, I didn't do organize any event yet, but I'm going to organize one in some months. The only thing is events, I think is not I wouldn't say is one of the events that I like the least, but because it has live music. It's
Right.
live music inside of the event. But I would say something that doesn't have any live music, any like creativity in it. Like, for example, it can be a corporate if they are
Oh, that was
close.
the other one. That was the other one I was thinking about. Corporate events.
Yeah, but also they can be creative. It just depends on the company and what
Mm,
they want. Because, for example, I was working with this company. They make organize events for companies, and it's super creative. We make dancing, also games, so it's
right.
super fun. But
Mm-hmm.
that's I would say that's one of the events that I would like to do. But if it's nothing creative involved, I wouldn't like that. Like for example, also events like gastronomic events.
You know,
Eh,
this is one thing because when I saw you at the restaurant a few times and I've taken photos, I do get a little bit annoyed because the people are actually, I don't get annoyed. Sometimes I do get pissed off for the artists because as an artist, whether it's the group or the individual, and you in a restaurant or something like that, you're actually by yourself, so you don't have a
mhm.
group of musicians around you, and there's sometimes people just have very little respect,
Yes,
and I
that is true.
really dislike that, and even more so when people pay money to go to a place and then decide to have their conversation about arroz al horno or something the other day. It's like, you pay your money to see an artist. If you want to talk about arroz al horno, go outside or don't come. I'm too radical.
It's no, no, no. I support you 100% because I feel the same way. For example, I would say you were asking me, is it easy to live from the music? It's not. And for example, I can say I am very lucky to have a job as a singer and organizing events. But I can say that I'm not at the point that I want to be. I'm better than last year's,
Hmm.
but for example, I sing in a restaurant where people actually they don't come to see you. They come to have dinner and you are
Yeah,
singing. So I had to learn that uh it doesn't matter. So this place teaches me to not care about what people think because
yeah,
for example, as an artist, I think we really care about, if our music, art, singing, uh, like people like it or they are enjoying or we connect with the crowd. And in this place, it's very difficult to do that.
yeah,
And what you say, I have a lot of situations, uncomfortable and funny, but very uncomfortable, where people they are not showing respect at all, and it's like
exactly.
but also it's showing me to not care.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I understand you 100%.
So, people, podcasting people, now and in the future, when you go to a
Mhm,
restaurant
mhm.
or something and there is live music which is presented as by the restaurant as something to accompany your meal or to accompany the event, show a little bit of respect
Yeah, yeah.
and listen. And if not, I will find you and I will hit you very, very hard.
Please,
Extremely hard. Okay,
definitely.
extremely hard. I'll take that steak you have on the plate and just hit you in the face with your own steak.
Oh my god! Like I'm going to talk about one experience. I was like, "Is I don't think so." It was interesting because it was this family. It was two adults and one kid. The kid maybe had like 3 years old, and I
Hmm.
was singing, and this I finished the song, and this kid started to do boo, and did it like, and I was just looking at the kid.
And the parents just didn't say anything, did
And
they?
the parents didn't say anything. And I was surprised about the parents because normally you say something to your kid. But no, they didn't say anything. And I was super surprised because it's like,
Yeah,
what
these
are you
these
doing,
these would be
parents?
parents. I would slap them with their
Definitely.
meat.
Definitely.
So that's a difficulty.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen you and I've observed it and things like that, and it annoys me. Not just you. I've seen
Yeah.
there's other people who are artists that I've seen or musicians I know and
Hmm.
things like that. So, like I said, I don't really understand how people don't pay attention to what they actually pay to go and see, or at least show a little bit of respect if it's part of the entertainment of the event of what they're actually going to.
Yeah.
So you said you have your production company. And was it important for you to set up a production company? Was it something you did in collaboration with somebody or what?
Yeah. So I actually started 5 years ago because I felt like it was so I wanted to give to artists what I wanted to give to myself or what I wish that I had when I was
Right.
younger. Because I think in Valencia there's not a lot of support for artists or a place where artists can create and also that is cheap, not cheap, but it has a good price because there's
Hmm.
some schools but they are crazy expensive. Like recently I studied at Berkeley
Yes, because I
for
wanted to talk to you about that. Yeah.
yes, for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. It was super amazing the experience, but it's crazy, like the amount of money that you have to pay to study there. And maybe for people from other countries, they can afford it, but in Spain, I think that that's super expensive. So I think if you want to be a singer or a musician, it's very hard to grow if everything is expensive and there's not like a public schools that you can go to, especially for singers, modern singers.
Yeah, because I suppose part of the difficulty in that is the group of people who might be interested in the music that maybe you and I am interested in. is probably very, very limited. You could probably get
Yeah.
most of them in, I don't know, El Roche Pavilion. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole of Valencia community, not just Valencia city. So there's very, very few people. And so I suppose it's very difficult to kind of catch and get that kind of audience. And then the places that do have good live events, you know, 16 Toneladas, Black Note, etc., which have a nice scene, they're covering a lot of music for a lot of artists. So your experience in Berkeley, tell us about your experience in Berkeley. How was it? Because for those people who don't know, Berkeley College is relatively famous or very famous, and it was based in, I think it was in Boston or in the
Yeah,
States.
Boston.
And then they set up their first external or out of the United States college here in Valencia, Ciudad de Artes. And I met a few artists from there, students from there. And then I saw, again, from your social media, that you were in Berkeley. So how was that experience?
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, because no one from Berkeley is going to listen to this
Or
this
maybe
year.
they are this year. Next year
This
we'll
year.
see.
You know, maybe
So
they'll find the podcast next year, but this year.
no, so honestly, I was super excited because I saw these schools when I was also young, like 18 years old, and I was looking for the programs they had, and I was thinking, I'm never going to study in this school because of the prices that they are super high. But this year, I found out they have like summer courses, so I was like, maybe I can attend to them and see, what can I learn, the experience as well. And I was super excited. I can say as an experience, it's super intense, and it challenges you to do what you are like. For example, if you're a singer, you will sing every day, a lot of hours, and that's something that as artists we don't do a lot because we have other things to do in
Right.
life. So it's something that is very, very nice. But at the same time, I think that for what I've learned, I could learn it outside. That's what I
Right.
feel.
Mm.
And I think what we are paying is the experience and to be surrounded but by amazing people. I think that the people, yeah, the people that was in the school, they are super amazing, talented. It was like young people with like absolute ear. So it was super cool to meet, to be surrounded by so many talented people.
Yeah.
But in terms of learning, I think that yes, I can maybe learn what I've learned outside as well.
But the thing is, though, because I understand, and maybe I'll say it rather than you say it in this sense. But I think you've got more experience than maybe some of the students who are in Berkeley for the amount of years you've been performing in front of people. And one of the things you actually learn when you're actually in the room, in the event, and you have to do that hour show, that 45-minute show, you learn so much about what is it to be a performer.
Yeah.
And then there's people who've kind of learnt the theory, but had very little exposure to being in the real world. And I think maybe that's what you brought to Berkeley in that sense. What you get, I suppose, is the networking and maybe the fact that you can have Berkeley on, I don't know what singers have, but maybe the CV and these kind of things. It can hopefully open a few doors for you.
Yes, definitely. I think that's for sure. Like the fact that I just had this experience can open doors, and that's also like part of why I decided to do it because I think that the fact that I was part of this experience, I will learn a lot. Well, in this case, I didn't. Also, I think it's the language thing because everything was in English,
Right.
and I'm not used to. For example, I'm not used to like the notes. For example, in English, they are different. So the language is super different, and uh, I think if it was in Spanish, I could maybe learn a little more, but also I think it's a good challenge. But yes, I think it was a positive experience. And what you said, the networking, I met a lot of people, also the teachers, super cool, super like talented as well. And you never know like what doors can be open in the future because of this experience. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy about it. And actually, this year I decided to I don't know why, but I decided to study and learn in terms of music and performing and business. And I started in Berkeley, but
Right.
now in 2 weeks I will study as well the music business. So I think that it's very important the practice, to have experience in the industry, but also if you know the theoric part, like how the industry works. Yeah, the theory
Yeah.
that's also important. So it's a good balance. It's good to have a balance between.
The theory side of things is going to also be at Berkeley, or is it going to be in a different place?
So I got a scholarship for
Ah,
of
yeah.
Sony
Nice.
Music. Yay.
Sony Music.
Yes, 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 yes. I was super
Okay.
happy. I was super, and this was for sure because of my experience. Because I remember when I applied for it, they were asking for, okay, what's your background?
Right.
What do you want to do in the future? And I think that part of the reason why I got it is because I did so many things without having any studies. Because actually I didn't really study anything. What I had is a lot of practice. So yes, I think this is the moment to learn the theoric part and to also get support from places like Berkeley, because that's also a thing. Now that I study with them and I know them, they know me. That can also lead to some collaborations in the future. I want to
Right.
think, or with
Yeah.
Sony Music, maybe I can make like an internship or something, and that can be very interesting.
So, podcasting people, I may stop giving English classes and become a manager.
Hey,
I
I love it.
I just might stop and just become your manager, like the
I
like
love
the
it.
old days when they kind of take 45% on top of whatever you make.
Yes, that's crazy.
So yeah, I might consider that. Well, that's nice to hear. That's very nice to hear. So this scholarship from Sony, is it something that you study online, or will you be going to?
Yeah, and my case is something that I will do online because I have my current job, and if I want to support my life, working.
And with the Sony scholarship, is it bilingual, English and Spanish, or just in Spanish?
English,
Okay.
100%. And actually, it's a challenge for me because I have a lot of friends and I speak with my friends in English. But first of all, for me, I never studied for real. So for me, it's very, very difficult to put myself there and study because I'm a action person. I like learning by action.
Yeah.
So, and also the language. So it's going to be a big challenge.
And so this starts. Did you say when this starts?
In October, I will start the Sony course for 1 year, but
Right.
also in 2 weeks, I will start this other course, a workshop for 2 months. Is with a AR manager from Warner Music. Yes,
Oh, with Warner Music.
yes, yes. So it's two
Okay.
months, only focusing on how to be a manager, to get talent, and to yeah, how to deal with negotiate and yeah.
So part of the other side, because if people don't 100% make it, because that very small percentage get into the two people I don't like, Beyonce and Rihanna side of things, you'd
Yeah.
also consider learning how to manage other artists and developing other artists and promoting or supporting other artists.
Yeah, I think that I actually thought about this for more than 1 year already, because I was thinking, okay, do I want to be like a crazy big artist and focus only on this, or do I want to do something more? And what I know for sure is that I'm never going to stop making music or performing
Right.
because I love that, but I really want to be this support for artists. I think is very important, and also in Spain. I recently watched this school from the UK. They give a public but very, very good education for artists, and a lot of big artists came from this school. The Brit School, I think it's called.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that we need something like this in Spain. So I'm really I'm really going for it.
Well, that's nice to know.
It was amazing. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see each other soon. Bye.
The voices and the names have been changed in this podcast to protect the wicked. For any grammar, information, or correction, please ask someone else, not me.